Disappointing, but good team. Disappointing, kind of our bogey team. First game back from international break. Disappointing, but really good team. Difficult place to play. There's no excuse in the world for that. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Blues and Stripes. So today we're going to preview the game tomorrow against Man U at Old Trafford. And yeah, this one might be my final straw with Maresca for this season, which, again, some people might say is way too soon, but frankly, from what I saw last season, he didn't really convince me. First half of the season was pretty good, but then when we fell off, just a lack of ideas, a stubbornness, and unwilling to adapt to what's happening. And then we managed to finish the season fine. Obviously, this summer won back some points with me. But very early in this season, we're already starting to see some of the problems that I had from last season creep their little head back up. And so coming into this one, this is a match we should be winning. I don't care that we've not won at Old Trafford in however many years now. This is not a good Man U team. People will point to Cunha and Mbuemo as good pickups for him. The manager is still unwilling to experiment, which is ironic considering that's the same complaint I have about Maresca. But really, watching Man U right now, they have some talented players. Not all around the pitch, to be fair. Some of these players, I think, are hyped up more than they're actually talented. But the main thing is they have a manager who's not willing to change his tactics to suit the players he has at the club. Maresca, I think, has a lot more players here that suit what he's trying to do. The problem with Maresca becomes when those tactics are not useful against the other team, and he's still unwilling to change, like we saw against Bayern. Not to mention, he definitely does play favorites, and sometimes that is to the detriment when the player is just not in a good run of form. But going into this match, this is still a must-win game, even if people are maybe not on the same level as me as far as their opinions on Maresca. There's still a lot of people that after the draw against Brentford and then the way we performed against Bayern, not so much the result, because getting a result at Bayern is always going to be tough, but the way we lost that match. I think a lot of people are starting to get worried that we're going to see a repeat of last season. And I think most of us were expecting to be in that title race, close to it at least. So I think a bad result here is not only going to drop the confidence of a lot of the fans, I think the players' confidence will drop as well. I think there was a lot of energy and excitement from the players coming into this season. I think going 3 without a win is definitely not going to help those confidence levels. So I do worry that getting a bad result here, not getting a win, is going to be the beginning of seeing us slip and seeing us more so fight for a European spot rather than be anywhere near the title chase. So with that in mind, looking at the predicted and what I want to see lineup, once again, going to go with Sanchez in goal. I think we will see Jorgensen when we play Lincoln, but Sanchez showed in that last match. Anybody who was blaming him didn't watch the match at all. They just saw that we conceded 3 goals and assumed he was at fault. But the fact of the matter is, he was not at fault for any of those goals. In fact, he kept us in the match for quite a bit of it. It could have been 4 or 5-1 if not for some of his saves. So I still do have the opinion that we could have gone and gotten a better keeper than him, but based on what we have now, he is miles away the best keeper we have. Into defense, I'm expecting to see some changes in defense for this match because our defense in the Bayern Munich match and honestly in the Brentford match as well, it's just not been good enough. The problem is we don't really have anybody that we can rely on there. Like Tosin and Chalobah are our best options when it comes to talent. And the problem is Tosin's really dropped off the last 2 matches, and Chalobah was okay against Brentford, but against Bayern, he was all over the place too. And we don't have anybody that we can really rely on to come in to replace either of them. I've seen a lot of people calling for Achimpong. He's too young. There's a chance that he does well. He is a talented young player, but there are moments when that youth and inexperience is going to show. And he'll grow and he'll get better the more he plays, but we should not be in a position where we have to chuck our young 19-year-old defender in and hope that he improves on the job, because we should have already done our transfer business and made sure that we replaced Colwill in the summer. So this is a huge failure on the transfer team. And the problem is I don't think anything's going to come of this. I don't think they're suddenly going to wise up in January and go, oh crap guys, look at this huge mistake we made. Let's try to do something different. We've already seen them make multiple mistakes over the past couple years. And look what they've done. They've done the exact same thing over and over and over again. They keep making the same mistakes. So that's where I'm going to continue to share my frustration every single match that our defense looks weak because we didn't improve it in the summer, because there were options we couldn't have gone and gotten. But instead, what do? We go and get other attackers, some of which have made the team better, some of which have made them worse, especially because Colwell's not injured on the last day of the transfer window. We had at least 2 weeks to look and find another option. But anyway, rant done. Starting on the right side of the defense, I want to see James. I expect to see James, to be perfectly honest, because honestly, the other two options we've had there have not been good enough. Fofana was awful against Brentford, and Gusto, decent, but not really that great, and then the giveaway that he had that led to the third goal pretty much ruined any good thing that he did throughout the match. So it's got to be James. You have to play him. He's your best right back option. Utilize him. In the middle, this is where everything is up in the air. I don't know. Again, I still think Chalobah and Tosin are our best options despite how bad they've been. To be perfectly honest, I don't know what to predict here. Because for Maresca, sometimes he just chooses to stick with players even if they're not on form, even if they're playing poorly. So there's a good chance we could see Tosin and Chalobah once again. There's also a chance Fofana, Badiashile, one of them could make an appearance. One thing we have been lacking is a left-sided center back. And so there's a chance that Maresca goes, well, he's the only left-sided center back we have in Badiashile, and so just throws him out there. As far as what I want, I honestly don't even know. Again, I think Tosin and Chalobah, talent-wise, are the two best defenders we have. And then past that, Achimpong. So it's two talented center backs who are not in good form, and then another talented center back who is inexperienced and young. I don't really feel like there are many good options here. I guess based on recent form, probably would go with Chalobah and Achimpong, but I just don't trust that that's going to be 100% comfortable. But unfortunately, that's just what we have at the moment, so it's kind of what we have to go with. On the left side, it's got to be Cucurella. Even if he didn't have one of the best games against Bayern, he's still a quality left back, and it's more so because he was isolated against a great one-on-one winger, so I don't really imagine anybody's going to be calling for his head after that match. Into the center, Caicedo is an obvious one to pick. I have seen some people calling for Fernandes to be dropped for Santos after the last match. I do want to defend Fernandes, because like I said in my review of that match, he was playing more so as a 10, and he's better as an 8. He's better sitting a bit deeper and making box-to-box runs. He comes in from deeper, be top of the box to finish off chances. That's what he's typically better at doing. It's also where he's used to moving the ball around. He's not used to being surrounded by 3 or 4 defenders. He's used to being pressed by one midfielder maybe. And so because of that, I don't think where he was playing in the last match really suited him. So I blame his poor performance more so on Maresca than on him. That being said, I do think Santos did play well, and I have thought over the past 2 matches, Fernandes in the second half did fade. So there's a chance he could need a bit of a rest too. This might be a good game to show a Santos paired with Caicedo midfield and how that would look. So personally, that's what I would want to see. However, with Maresca, I would not be surprised at all if it's Caicedo and Fernandes in there again, because, again, he's pretty stubborn and he doesn't like to make a whole lot of changes. Up into the front 4, I know what I want to see. I don't know what I'm going to get, though, and this is where I'm a little concerned. So the front 4 I'd want to see is Estevao on the right, Palmer in the middle, Neto on the left, Pedro up top. We're not going to see the best of Neto on that left side, but I still think he's a much more effective option than Garnacho or Gittins at the moment, and he still will work hard. But to be fair, he probably will need a sub pretty early on because it feels like his legs are going a lot faster in these matches now, so he probably does need a bit of a break at some point. But I have seen a lot of people saying that Pedro up top doesn't work. I think the problem is when you have Pedro up top and Enzo sitting behind him, it's not as effective. Because Enzo's not the type of 10 that's going to make runs beyond Pedro. So whenever he drops in and draws a defender, he's not opening up space for anybody because we don't see Enzo making that run in behind. Palmer is going to make that run in behind. He's going to be the one to take that space and create something with it. So I think that 9 and 10 works a lot better. I do think Pedro individually would be a lot better playing as a 10 in behind a striker like a Delap, but I don't think he's ineffective as a 9. I do think he can play that position well to open up space for everybody around him because he is very mobile. He's very good at drawing defenders with him. And again, if you have a 10 that can take advantage of that, that's where that's effective. Not to mention having that little triangle of Palmer, Estevao, and Pedro, I think works really, really well. And so I'd like to see them utilize that. I'd like to see those 3 play together because we haven't seen that much this season so far. But that is a very lethal combination when those 3 can work interchangingly. So personally, that's the front 4 I would like to see. What do I expect to get? I have no idea. There's a chance we're going to see Garnacho on the left from the start for the first time. There's also a chance that he switches Estevao and Palmer, puts Estevao in the middle and Palmer on the right side because, I don't know, for some reason he thinks that works better. Hell, there's a chance he puts Guiu up top and Pedro at the 10, Palmer out on the right side, and we don't see Estevao at all. So there's a lot of different things he could try to do. I don't really know what to expect. And of course, the irony in that is I'm talking about how stubborn he is and how much he doesn't like to change stuff. And yet, for some reason, the front 4 is something he does change for no real reason. And the changes are always ineffective too. Like he'll put Palmer on the left side where he's a lot less effective. He'll put George up top instead of Guiu. Like he'll do stuff that it's changing things up, but not in the way that they need to be changed. It's more so making us look weaker in the attack. But if I had to venture a guess, I would guess that it's going to be Pedro up top, Palmer in the center, Neto on the right, Garnacho on the left. It's my best guess, but hey, we'll see. Gonna cross my fingers that it's not going to be something stupid, but unfortunately Maresca has proven me right that he's an idiot more than he's proven me wrong. But going into this match, what I'm hoping for, what I'm predicting, obviously hope for a win, expect to win. I know Man U do tend to turn up against the big six, so I'm not expecting us to just roll them over. It'd be great if we did. But we also have it in our history that when a team's on a bad run of form, when they're struggling, we're a good team to play. Like the amount of times that we face teams that have gone on winless runs, or even players that have not assisted or scored in several matches. It always feels like they break that cycle against us. I can remember 2 years ago, Antony hadn't done a thing all season. Can't remember if this was in the game that they won or the game that we won that season under Pochettino. But I remember Antony hadn't been involved in anything and he got an assist against us. It's like the first assist he had gotten maybe all season. So needless to say, I'm not necessarily saying that a win is 100% certain, but like I said, I'm expecting it. Especially after these past two results, I'm expecting to go and win because the players in Maresca need to show this is not about to become a consistent thing. We're not about to see us drop points consistently this season. If they show us the opposite, well, again, this is where I don't think Maresca showed enough last season to have a bad start, like 4 without a win, and be comfortable. And me not call him out and say, hey, he's not good enough. But prediction, I can't predict anything but a win, or else I'm going to be a hypocrite. So I'm going to say 2-1. I think we score 1 in the first half, probably through Pedro. I'm going to assume a mistake from a defender gives us a goal. In the second half, I feel like Caicedo's going to pop up with another worldie, make it 2-0. And then we give up a late one to make it nervy at the end of the match and give them like a late flurry of chances and nearly make it 2-2. So that's my prediction. So those are my predictions. Those are my thoughts on the game tomorrow. God, we just need to win. We just need to win this match. End of story. But with all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are you expecting tomorrow? What do you want to see? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea previews, reviews, and talks. And until next time, hope you guys have a great day. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.